Okay, this is Saturday, the 2nd of July, and Wimbledon's in full swing and everything. Just going to put this in a little bit. If I can figure it out. I guess that's good enough. Right, so it's 2nd July. I'm wearing black because it's the funeral of the Labour Party, and they've really gone and done it. I mean, why, I don't know. It's hot in here, it's summer house, and it really is a half decent day today, a bit blowy and everything, but it's alright. Let me adjust my leg, that leg like that. Slightly better. So yesterday, we know what's happened with Corbyn and everything. Corbyn's been the leader of the Labour Party in the UK, Her Majesty's opposition. Corbyn's been locking on tight, like one of these people that gets a local council job and they know they're never going to do any better, so they lock in, they get their feet under the table, they lock in with their fingers, and that's it. They ain't budging until retirement. Corbyn's kind of done that. Yesterday there was a programme on BBC Radio 4 called Any Questions, which is a bit like Question Time, but it's Richard Dimbleby that does it instead of David Dimbleby, famous brothers. And this guy Matt Rack was on it. Now Matt Rack is the Secretary General, I think he is, or something of that nature, of the Fire Brigade Union, reckoned to be quite a strong union, not necessarily militant, but quite a strong union. And Matt Rack admonished somebody who had said that they'd said something about the Brexit business, and Matt Rack, who voted for Remain, as a lot of the unions did, I guess they maybe thought it was a better deal for their members. Matt Rack said now a load of people who wanted Brexit and voted for it are now finding out how bad it is and how bad the deal's going to be, and so this is they're waking up to reality, as it were. He then went on to happily discuss how this same logic, and this is where I come from, a logical position, this same logic did not apply somehow to Jeremy Corbyn's democratic vote. Yes, Jeremy Corbyn was voted in democratically, but the people that voted him in and who have kept supporting him ever since probably didn't bargain for a guy who would stay in no matter what, and a guy who wouldn't bow to the reality of political life in the UK. To wit, 172 MPs, the majority of MPs in your party, coming forward and saying they've got no confidence in you. In other words, they don't think you can run the party or win a general election. They're not supporting you. You put motions forward, they won't support them. So you can talk about the democratic vote, people like Matt Rack, till you're blue in the face. But the same logic you apply to Brexit, which is that people now realise they might have been sold to some extent a bit of a pop. The same goes for the Jeremy Corbyn thing. A lot of people who have supported him up to date, these MPs, had no idea that he would cling on like some kind of limpet to a ship that was going to go down because they were clinging onto it. You get enough barnacles on a ship, you will bring it down. Jeremy Corbyn's one of those limpets. He's grabbed on, and he's really leading it into where it's basically just a protest party. People are talking about it splitting into two pieces now. Basically, the 172 MPs will go off with a Labour Party, New Labour, or whatever they want to call it, Labour 2016, and the rest will be stuck with whatever is left with Jeremy Corbyn as leader. And this is the legacy of Ed Miliband. He brought into being the system of voting that enabled Jeremy Corbyn to now be in power in the Labour Party, to be the leader of the Labour Party in Her Majesty's opposition. This is Ed Miliband's doing. I'm going to wind it further back and say, had they managed to get David Miliband, Ed Miliband's brother, had they managed to get David Miliband to be the leader of the Labour Party, none of this would have come to pass. There's a damn good chance that they would have held a minority government along with a couple of little parties and now be in charge of the country. And maybe or maybe not the Brexit vote wouldn't have happened. But Jeremy Corbyn, a lot of people are saying he's a decent man and will he now do the decent thing. I put it to you that a decent man would have realised that as he seems now to be a puppet of John McDonnell and the momentum, as they call it, left-wing extreme part of the Labour movement, and the Socialist Workers' Union, another left-wing extreme part of the Labour movement, as he's now basically a puppet for them. I mean, you saw him in one scene on the news. He was asked a question by Sky News, and he obviously wanted to answer it. And this guy grabbed his coat, this aide, as they call them, grabbed his coat and literally physically dragged him against his will for the first yard or so to get him away. So, the guy's a puppet. And he's a puppet of some extreme left part of the socialist movement. That means that Labour Party, as it is now, instead of having a short-term problem, I now realise it's actually got a long-term problem. And this was caused by all those, we thought they were Tories joining the Labour movement to vote in who they wanted. Now it turns out it's been extreme socialists, and a whole load more people have piled in. Are they moderates trying to rebalance it all? I don't know. But this system, I mean, look at how the Tory party is by comparison. In a time of desperate trouble, the Tory party is going to pull itself together in about a fortnight, because it's the top people, the MPs and so on, that vote for somebody. Then they are offered to the wider members of the Tory party, the Conservative and Unionist Party movement, and then if there was a general election, people would vote on. The system from the bottom up that Labour use basically means an extreme group, if they can mass enough tens of thousands of people to join, which they obviously have, and then vote in somebody that's actually a minority person and who doesn't have the skills to run Her Majesty's opposition. This could take years to sort out. I'm not sure. They actually need to change it, you see, because if he wants to sit on a legal technicality, Jeremy Corbyn can remain leader of the Labour Party for quite a while. And how do you change the rules from underneath the Labour leader's feet? I predict the Labour Party will eventually be run by Hilary Benn, and the rules will all be changed to be very similar to the Tory party, because this has shown that in the time of crisis, you're absolutely hands tied. As for the Tory party, Theresa May is going to come out the winner, and we'll probably know that in a fortnight or so. She's minded not to have a general election. Didn't work for Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown thought he was going to have a general election, then didn't. Theresa May is saying from the outset she simply won't. She's going to go ahead with whatever mandate there is. This is interesting, but it says a couple of things to me. I think Theresa May is a one term only, and it's not a whole term, Prime Minister. I think she'll do this 4 years, take it through, and then the Tory movement will have the young guys like Crabb and so on. Then we'll have the young guys in. Crabb's going for leadership just now, they won't let him have it. But they might in 4 years' time. So my prediction for the Tory party, I mean for the Labour Party, the prediction is this. Jeremy Corbyn is a puppet. He's going to hold on for as long as possible. That means as much damage as possible. Either the Labour Party will split, and or they'll have to change the rules for how to vote a leader in. Hilary Benn will eventually become leader of the Labour Party. It's just going to take however much time it takes. John McDonnell and the rest of them on the left-wing socialist side have done a lot of damage, and they intend to do a lot more. Labour will never see power under this lot. So it doesn't matter damn what they say. A lovely protest movement, guys, but that's all you are. The Tories, Theresa May is going to come in. She'll quickly get a handle on things, and she'll lead them for the next 4 years, upon which the new wave of Tories will definitely be positioned, having then worked in cabinet posts. So Crabb at the moment hasn't got a cabinet post really behind him, not for long. He will have in 4 years' time. I've done 4 years of a cabinet post. I'm pretty sure of that. What do we need to do for the European situation? Well, the UK basically, and this is to Theresa May I'm talking, you basically need to make the Europeans, and you can do this by refusing to press Article 50, make the Europeans, before you go anywhere near pressing Article 50, make them have a B level of membership and a B level Euro note. Now, we aren't part of the Euro monetary zone, but Greece is. And Greece really should have left, but was bribed and persuaded and strong-armed into staying. And perhaps if Greece left, we'd have more of an idea about what happens with Britain. But with Greece, we should have done the same thing. And now that Britain's gone and pretty much said we want to head for the exit door, that means really there should be a B level of membership, and I can accept that that gets put to the British people and said, you know, this is probably going to be better than leaving completely. But at the B level has to have control of your own people movement, immigrant movement. It has to have all the things that you aren't allowed at the moment under full European membership, i.e. your own money, or the B note I'm talking about, the Euro B note that's worth maybe 50 European cents to the euro, so that those countries can operate in their own floating exchange mechanism after that. And if you don't allow that, I think you're in a lot of trouble. And you should be able to migrate from the B position of membership. There's the A level that we used to be at, or we still are at the moment, and where all the other 27 countries are still at. And the B level I'm talking about gives us all the things we want to do with trade, and doesn't include us in the political union. And of course, the only reason the Europeans don't want to do that is because they fear that a lot of people will jump for it. Now, Merkel's dreams and Hollande's dreams, so what? They're about to be voted out. I'm quite sure of it. Severely weakened or voted out. June next year, June 2017 for Hollande, that's his general election. And Merkel's is set in concrete to be the end of September, maybe early October. But by the end of October, hers will be done in Germany. That's France and Germany's elections over by October 2017. We would be in a lot stronger position. So me personally, do not dare press the Article 50 exit until you've tried to persuade them hard to get a B position membership, and you've seen what happens when Hollande and Merkel get kicked out. This is why they're so keen for this Article 50 button to be pressed right now, because they know that come next year, all eyes will be on their elections, and they will not be half so strong as they are now. So Theresa May, you're trying to persuade them for a B level of membership. Get some countries behind you on that, and a euro note that's worth 50% of the current euro note to go to countries like Greece if they don't have their own currency still, which Britain fortunately has. That's about it really. Wait until Hollande and Merkel are weakened, which is by June and October respectively next year, and that's the time, if need be, to actually press the Article 50 button. Do not yield in the meantime. You can't be forced into pressing Article 50. Don't do it, because you'll get leaders who are in a hurry, Merkel and Hollande, trying to press guy you into all sorts of crap so they can say it's all done and dusted before they go for their election. You'd be a damn fool, Theresa May, and anybody else who's listening. You'd be a damn fool to let that happen. And we're not fools. Yes, we voted for Brexit, but that clearly meant certain things. If the best way to get those things is a B membership of the European Union, then press for that. We don't go anywhere near Article 50, giving that 27 countries all the power. We don't do that until after Hollande and Merkel have faced down their electorate, and let's see where they stand then, because I bet they'll be a lot weaker. Right, so as I say, we're looking at a very hard time for the Labour Party, and they'll make the Tories look as though they're together, which is ridiculous. Thanks so much for listening.